news channel nationally acclaimed to be your local news report with the Best Furniture Award of 1862. Good evening. Today, on the 19th of July in the year of 1848, there has been a watershed moment in the fight for women's rights. In Seneca Falls, New York, a few women, most notably Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Stanton, have gathered to discuss various issues, including temperance, women's rights, and slavery. I report here from Seneca Falls to show you exactly what is happening.
Ladies, for meeting with me today. We are so heavily oppressed. We have no rights.
Yes, indeed. I agree completely.
To collaborate with abolitionists to achieve our goal.
I must say, Ms. Mott, you're a great orator.
Around the world!
Go!
3 days later.
Oh, ladies, it's been several days into our conference now. And I just don't know if we're getting anywhere because the society is just not ready for our women rights and temperate movements. So, what do you think we should do?
Well, in my personal opinion, I feel like we should collaborate with Frederick Douglass.
Yes.
On abolitionists.
Yes.
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 Slavery.
I feel like that's the only way that we're going to get across. I mean, we can't have this conference be for nothing.
Yeah, we need to get our rights, but just ain't gonna work out. We just do women.
Alcohol is destroying families. We need the temperance movement so we can move forward.
How can we get that point across?
Yeah, how will it work? We need public displays of this. We need to...
I mean, if our women rights, if that's not getting across and we have no power, then how can we get this temperance movement across to them? I don't know if our nation's ready for this yet.
Especially since that men control everything. We can't just stop them from drinking.
Dear Diary, August 18th, 1849. I only dream of the day I will get to vote, along with all the other women who mark my words. I believe that the conference at Seneca Falls was a first step. And although we did not fully accomplish what we wanted to, we are moving in the right direction. We may have a long way to go, but I believe in our power as women. Why is it a must, I ask, that we are deprived our right to vote? We are driven by the Declaration of Sentiments, and we are getting national attention from our suffrage movement. I will do whatever it takes, because I believe that we have the rights.
Welcome to the SHAKER Report, the proud news channel nationally acclaimed to be your local news report with the Best Furniture Award of 1862. Good evening. Today on the 22nd of May in the year of 1856, I report live from the Capitol in Washington, D.C. My fellow Americans, there was a current outbreak of violence after today's Congress session.
A noisome squat. A nameless animal. Oh no. Lord have mercy.
Getting at it, this conflict over the darned issue of slavery. I warn you, my fellow Americans, some of the content I will be explaining to you here is graphic. Senator Charles Sumner from Massachusetts, as you may know, has been solidifying his stance against slavery. Recently, he has denounced the Kansas-Nebraska Act and the Crime Against Kansas speech. In a strongly worded tirade against the senators, Stephen Douglas from Illinois and Andrew Butler from South Carolina, Sumner insulted these men by calling the former a polluted side of the world and the latter, please excuse my language here, a noisome squat and a nameless animal. Oh, Lord. Senator Sumner has viciously decried Senator Douglas. Sumner went on to call Douglas not a proper model for an American senator.
2 hours later.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark cold hotel room. And the endlessness that you fear.
This is the SHAKER Report reporting live from Washington, D.C. Here is a bystander of the beating of Charles Sumner. Please tell us what happened.
It was terrible. Everyone was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden the representative just started beating Charles, and no one knew what to do. We were all just sitting there and no one intervened. We just watched him being brutally attacked. It was horrible.
That's unfortunate. So why didn't anyone do anything about it?
Well, we didn't really know what we could do. It wasn't any of our business, and we were afraid that we too would be attacked.
I see. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The SHAKER report has another bystander of the caning. So please tell me, how do you feel about this caning?
I feel like Preston Brooks did a well job of displaying his views.
So are you telling me that you support this caning, that it's okay?
Yeah, I believe that it's okay as long as everybody is supporting their own views and Preston Brooks is going on with his popular sovereignty, which is, I don't know.
Thank you. And now a message from our sponsors.
I think I need a new hairstyle.
Hi, welcome to the SHAKER salon, where we do hair real big. How do you like it? Come to the salon, where we do hair real big.
Goes to interview a northerner and southerner about the Fugitive Slave Laws.
Hi, I'm William Lloyd Garrison, author of The Liberator, and I am heavily against the Fugitive Slave Laws. I have sent out and encouraged others to make flyers to warn our fellow slaves. We, of course, want to save them when they come across the border. However, it's just that we're forced not to. It makes this really hard on us. So we, as people, unite to warn the slaves, violating their codes, that they are real men. Why should they have to deal with this? They went through all the work to escape, which is what they should do because slavery should not exist. But anyway, it goes against the moral codes. They have escaped. They went through all the work to escape. And now, to be just sit back? That is absurd! Stephen Douglas, and I believe that slaves are property. I believe that the state should have the right to decide whether they want to be slave or free. I believe in popular sovereignty. If your horse ran away, wouldn't you want someone to bring it back to you? It is rightfully yours. My slave ran away! No! I don't know what to do! We need to find her!
Many months later.
I found Annabelle, and I'm a northerner, and I'm not giving her back. In your face, fugitive slave law!
So a controversial issue of our era has been the Fugitive Slave Laws. These laws contend that slaves that escape from their rulers or masters must be returned back from the North, even though it is a free place. This has been a hot debate, whether this is ethical or not, or whether this is actually just political stance.
One day, I was just out tending my sheep, and I hear word of mouth that poor Dred Scott isn't even considered a person. Who knew? Poor Dred Scott. All he wanted to do was be free. A free man. Everyone deserves that right. Any human being deserves the right. How dare the government? How dare they? They deny him.
The SHAKER Report reports live from Washington, D.C. with an interview with Abraham Lincoln.
Are you... Greetings to you, Mr. President. How's the weather up there?
It's mighty fine. Better than our nation's current state, that's for sure.
Great segue, Mr. President. I want to ask you a few questions regarding the ever-famous Emancipation Proclamation.
Oh, that old thing.
Tell me, Mr. President, how did you come to the decision of creating such a statement?
This country was in a great need of some kind of change. This document sent the message that I care about the well-being of all our great nation's people, including slaves. They need to be treated equally, and I have this document that starts a new trend in this country.
Glorious. Now, tell me, why all of a sudden have you taken such a militant stance against slavery?
Because slavery is wrong. The nation is already a split. My attempts have been futile. I must stand for what is right and grant to these men what they truly deserve: freedom.
Thank you for answering my questions.
You're very welcome. 4 score.
The writer of the great documents offered to be interviewed. The Emancipation Proclamation has freed all slaves in the rebellious states. The SHAKER report finds this document to be the most significant in our time.
Good evening. The SHAKER report reports from the South with the President of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis. So, President Davis, please tell me, how do you feel about the Emancipation Proclamation?
Well, there are 3 things I love.
What are
America, baseball, and slavery. And being so, I'm a strong advocate against the Emancipation Proclamation and believe it is our right as individuals and as states to possess slaves.
I understand. So, are you in great opposition to the Emancipation Proclamation?
Absolutely.
Do you have anything to say to President Lincoln?
I would ask Lincoln to question his fundamental ideologies. I would ask Lincoln to think, what's this country going to look like if we don't have bread on our tables? Because that's what slaves do for me.
I mean, are you shocked by his sudden militant stance against slavery when he once said that he would not do anything for it?
Absolutely. It's one of the many recorded examples that Abraham Lincoln is a liar.
Okay, well, thank you. That is all we have for this edition of the SHAKER Report. Shake on, America.
Feel free to secede. We got room.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Be a shaker. Be a shaker.
Shake on, America.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Be a shaker. Be a shaker.
Shake on, America.
On a misty Minnesota morning, I'm heading south on 35. Like a pioneer, I'm seeking out those places where the seed'll stay alive. I could send you pictures of the far-off places and the small towns where I've been. But till this trip is through, I just think of you, and I'm heading north again. Heading north where our burdens are carried away on the wind. Heading north to a border where the better story begins.